From the graph of each quadratic function, identify whether the parabola is concave up or down, and hence whether the function has a maximum or minimum. Then estimate the vertex, the axis of symmetry, and any horizontal and vertical intercepts. Let's start with graph A. Notice that the parabola opens in an upward direction. That tells us that the parabola is concave up. When a parabola is concave up, the quadratic function has a minimum, and that minimum occurs at the vertex, the lowest point on the graph. For part A, we see that the vertex is at -1, -4. The axis of symmetry is the vertical line that passes through the vertex. In this case, the axis of symmetry is the vertical line x is equal to -1. Next, the horizontal intercepts are the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts are at -3, 0 and 1, 0. Finally, the vertical intercept is the point at which the graph intersects the y-axis. We see that that point is 0, -3. In part B, we notice that the parabola opens downward. Therefore, the parabola is concave down. When a parabola is concave down, the quadratic function has a maximum value, and that maximum value occurs at the vertex, the highest point on the graph. In this case, the highest point on the graph is the point 2, 9, so the vertex is 2, 9. The axis of symmetry is the vertical line that passes through the vertex. Notice that the axis of symmetry divides the parabola into two halves. If you fold the parabola across the axis of symmetry, then the two sides of the parabola coincide. In this case, the axis of symmetry is the vertical line x is equal to 2. The horizontal intercepts are the points where the graph crosses the x-axis. In this case, we see that the horizontal intercepts are -4, 0, and 8, 0. The vertical intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. In this case, we see that the graph crosses the y-axis at 0, 8. So the vertical intercept is 0, 8. Now we'll complete part C. We notice that the parabola opens downward, therefore the parabola is concave down. Because the parabola opens down, the graph has a highest point, and therefore the quadratic function has a maximum value. Because the parabola opens down, the vertex is at the highest point. In this case, we estimate the vertex to be the point -5, 3. We draw a vertical line through the vertex to get the axis of symmetry. And we say that the axis of symmetry is at x is equal to -5. The graph crosses the x-axis at -8 and at -2, so the horizontal intercepts are -8, 0 and -2, 0. Finally, the graph crosses the y-axis at approximately 0, -5, so the vertical intercept is 0, -5.